A bicycle lying against a tree. The light is low, almost orange, the kind that means dinner will be ready soon, and no one has come home yet. There's no adult in the frame. There's no screen either. Just a child, alone, somewhere between two houses, inventing a rule to a game no one else knows. Cut. A bedroom. The blinds are shut in the middle of the afternoon. The only light comes from a screen, resting on folded knees. The door is closed. Outside, the street is empty. These are the same years of life. This is not the same childhood. And yet these two scenes are only about 20 years apart. Not a century, not an industrial revolution. One generation. What happened between the two has never really been told. Not as nostalgia, as a shift. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the people who lived through that shift might be the only ones left who can still undo some of its damage. What you lived through if you were born between 1981 and 1996 wasn't a lifestyle. It was the default, the street as a playground, the absence of adults as the normal condition, boredom as the mandatory starting point before anything interesting could happen. No one asked if you wanted that freedom. It was simply there by default, like air. And that default has an expiration date. What felt eternal has a precise stopping point, one that almost no one saw coming while it was happening. We'll get to the exact moment it broke, but first, you need to see what it actually built. Because most people have no idea how much was riding on it. Picture a kid, 8 years old, halfway up a tree. No adult in sight. Their hand slips. For a fraction of a second before they catch the next branch, their brain does something no classroom, no app, no parent standing underneath ever could have taught it. It measures the fall in real time and corrects. That single, unsupervised second is doing more for that child's nervous system than an entire semester of anything structured. That's the part almost nobody talks about. Free play, the kind no one organizes, with no coach and no rulebook, works like a full-scale life simulator. The argument that gets settled on a sidewalk without an adult stepping in becomes a lesson in negotiation no mediator could replicate. The empty Saturday afternoon, with nothing planned and nothing to scroll, becomes a forced exercise in creativity, simply because boredom demands to be solved by yourself, or not at all. Independence, risk tolerance, conflict resolution, creativity out of nothing. 4 things that generation walked away with, without ever filling out a form for them, without ever knowing they were being built. And while that generation was still collecting them, without realizing it, something was already starting to shift beneath their feet. Something that would make sure no one after them would collect the same 4 things the same way again. That shift didn't take 30 years. It took less than 10, which means some of the very same kids who were still climbing trees at 9 were, by 17, watching their own younger siblings never leave the house at all. The arrival of the smartphone, then social media in every teenager's pocket, transformed childhood in record time, fast enough that the youngest members of that generation lived it from the inside, losing their own street without noticing it was happening to them too. Here's the part that should feel unsettling. It's not that kids today play less, it's what replaced the playing. A 10-year-old in 1994 negotiates directly with a friend, face to face, over whose turn it is. A 10-year-old today negotiates the exact same thing through a screen, with no tone of voice, no body language, and an unlimited number of chances to simply log off instead of working it out. The skill isn't gone. It's just never being asked to show up. This isn't just a difference in scenery. It's a cost, and it's a measurable one. Researchers tracking this shift keep finding the same pattern. Anxiety climbing in children who grow up mostly indoors, risk tolerance dropping, a growing need for outside approval instead of trusting their own read of a situation. The link to the disappearance of free play isn't a footnote.